Justin Frenette here, co-founder and CEO of Him and Her, and host of the Pre-Con Recon podcast, where we talk about all things brand and marketing in the pre-construction real estate market. I invite leaders to share their knowledge and strategies for success, empowering our community to thrive now and in the future. This episode is brought to you by Him and Her, a creative agency specializing in exceptional branding for real estate and high-end consumer goods. Over the past 8 years, we've helped shape and sell over $2.5 billion in pre-construction real estate projects, crafting and executing strategies that deliver extraordinary results. From successful, multi-year, master-planned, mixed-use communities, both high and low-rise, to transforming underperforming locations into sought-after destinations, to selling out a residential tower in just 23 minutes, we empower our partners to achieve success in any market condition. If you're launching a pre-construction project and want to learn more, reach out to us at himandher.ca. I'd also like to give a shout out to Kaylee Johnson from Peterson, who I recently had the opportunity to chat about her career in real estate, what Peterson's up to, and some great perspectives on what's happening on the West Coast. So make sure to check out that episode. Today, my guest is Angela Walsh, a dedicated marketing professional with nearly 2 decades of experience at Sifton Properties, headquartered in London, Ontario. As marketing director, she has played a pivotal role in shaping the company's brand and marketing strategy. She started in the new homes division 19 years ago and has spent the last 10 years building and leading a dynamic in-house marketing team that supports all 5 of Sifton's business units. A collaborative leader at heart, Angela believes in the power of listening, understanding the unique challenges of each team, and aiming to deliver marketing solutions that truly make an impact. Angela takes great pride in working for a 100 years young family company that values innovation and community connection. Angela, thanks for joining me today.
Hi, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Before we dive in, I always like to ask my guests what it is they love about what they do.
Sure. So many things, which is great for me, right? I think first and foremost, I love the people that I work with. Like you mentioned there in the intro, Sifton is a family company, and that is truly felt day to day within our teams, within the larger team, and that's really important to me, and it makes me happy to go to work every day. Essentially, we spend so much time with the people that we work with, so that is definitely one of the things I love most. I love the sense of accomplishment and pride that I have in my team and the company as a whole. I would also say that I love that I work for a company that is essentially providing home in many shapes. So whether that's a rental suite or a new build home or a retirement living residence or a workspace. Often that's our home away from home, right? So I know how much I love my home. It's a reflection of who I am, who my family is. It's a safe space. It's a place that brings great joy, right? So I take pride in the fact that that's at the heart of what we do.
Yeah, I think that's great. People first, like most of your life is working, so enjoying Absolutely. Who you work with. And then the real estate, just, on our consumer goods side, you launch an e-commerce site, a business could be around for a long time, but a building will be around much longer than a website ever will. And it is cool to see a project go all the way through, and that's there in that community, and you're involved in people's major life decisions. So that's a great pleasure. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, let's start in your career journey. How did you get into real estate, and what led you to the role you're in today?
Sure. So I started my career working for an advertising firm here in London. I did that for a couple of years. Growing up through school, I was drawn to that world. So funny story. So I'm a child of the 80s, 90s rerun. And I loved the television show Who's the Boss? Don't know if you're familiar.
Yep.
But lead female role was a woman named Angela Bauer. And perhaps it was just the fact that, it was my the first time I saw an Angela on a screen, and I was naturally drawn to her perhaps. But she owned an advertising agency, and she was creative and fashionable and fabulous and strong, but vulnerable. And it's really my first memory of what it looked like to create, a tagline or that
Mm,
hook that sparks action in someone. So I've always
yep.
sort of carried that with me, that I knew young that I really liked that, um, you know, that idea of what just that, like what could spark action in people. So anyway, I worked for an ad agency for a couple years. I did quickly learn that I wanted to focus myself a bit more. I worked for a lot of great clients. I had the opportunity to learn a lot, but I felt that I wanted to be a little more focused, which is a little funny because years later, here I am working for our 5 business units anyway. But I started in that new homes specific world, and I learned a lot about real estate, and I learned a lot from some really great leaders. And then over time with the company, just supported the different business units when I could. I was, called upon to weigh in or support something, and that sort of slowly grew. And over the last 10 years, I've had the pleasure of building. We centralized essentially all of our marketing services, and I've had the
Okay.
opportunity to build and grow sort of our own little in-house marketing agency firm, if you will. So yeah, it's been great.
That's amazing. I think even there was a Hallmark movie, or I don't know, everybody does the Hallmark category now, and one of them
Yes.
was a real estate marketing firm, and I had to have a giggle at how they portrayed our industry and what
Yeah.
marketing a real estate project was like. So I find that's funny. Um, and then in that journey, so ad agency, you get into focus on the real estate. Was there a moment in your time at Sifton where you knew, yeah, this is it, this is what I'm going to do?
I think so. I think early on, I mean, the company and what it stood for really spoke to me. I think again, right away, I worked with really great people, and I could
Hmm.
see that I would have the opportunity to learn quickly. Um, and I loved the variety of
Mm.
projects that just took my day, right? Whether that was
Yep.
in early days, if that was, spending time in our sales centers, or
Yep.
everything from, I remember being young and standing out on major roads with sign installers thinking like, I don't, what am I doing here? It was all so new. So everything brought there was new excitement every
Yep.
day. And I don't think over 19 years that's really changed. There's
Yep.
there's something new to wrap your head around or to enjoy about it every day.
Amazing. And mentorship, you mentioned a couple great leaders. Was there anybody that stood out, or was there a specific teaching that you were handed down that really helped shape the trajectory you're on or the success you've had?
Um, I've worked for many great leaders at Sifton. I think if I speak about them on the whole, a few things stand out. Certainly, um, learning to trust your gut.
Mm.
There's definitely people in our organization that have that really great gut instinct, and leaning into that and trusting yourself, I think, is really important. Um, I also have really just learned to always be asking why. I mean, there's a lot of
Mm.
things that someone else is doing it, so we should do it too. And really taking a beat and pausing and making sure that we're making decisions that are best for us. Um, the One of the things that continues to play a big part in what we or how we approach things is the idea that our message shouldn't be about what we do, but why we do it.
Mm.
Um, that phrase
Yep.
has come through quite a bit from some of the leaders that I've had the pleasure to work with. I think also um, just a real steady, that constant, steady, reliable presence that I have felt with many of our leaders has set me on my path, I guess you could say.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So Sifton,
Mm-hmm.
you've been there a good 19 years now, you said, going on 20.
Yes.
What does Sifton do for our listeners?
Sure. So yes, we are in our 102nd year. Um,
That's wild.
it's a long time, eh? Yeah. So we started as a home builder, 1923. The I think, well, it was a couple of years back that we had a little tour of some of the houses that stand on the first street, essentially
Wow.
that Sifton built on. So that was a neat experience. But over the years, the company diversified into development, residential rentals, retirement living, commercial properties. Did I cover it all? We also have a golf community, Riverbank Golf Community in the West End of London as well. So we're really just in the business of creating home and community for our customers. A very, very heavy focus. We're very invested in customer experience.
Yeah.
That is felt in a number of ways, from welcome gestures to milestone recognition for our customers.
Okay.
It could just be ice cream truck pop-ups or pop-up concerts, or just things that let our customers know that we value them and we're there. And that's
Yeah.
a really big part of the Sift experience. Obviously, doing better, pushing ourselves to build better, build smarter. West 5 in West London is a great example of that for us. A sustainable community that's targeting net zero energy use. So the team is, I guess, always there's an innovative spirit that is just innate, and it
Yeah.
drives everything that we do. And then I think, in addition, and very important, is the importance of giving back. So the
Okay.
company, the family, has always been really gracious in that regard, and it's really important for us to enrich the lives of people who live in our communities, and then the greater communities as well.
Well, you guys must be doing something right, and those are obviously the key things I think anybody should take away of, since you're in business for 102 years.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
the opposite model to throw up a building, sell it to whoever, and see you later. I don't think that gets you
Yes.
to 102 years anytime
Yes.
soon.
Yeah.
So West 5, that's an impactful project. Is there any, in the history of Sifton and recently, is there any new projects coming up that you're particularly excited about?
Yeah, I would definitely say West 5 specific
Okay.
projects are very exciting. So, probably two things. I think one, we are working on pre-leasing two new buildings. So they're called Spectra and Candela. Spectra,
Okay.
we're a couple months in, 65% leased, which is great, pre-leased, which is great. So we'll open in April.
Amazing.
And Candela is just sort of coming on board. But both projects have been, I would say, a really great collaboration between my team, our marketing team, and our leasing team, and it just really feels good when you hit a really nice flow and everything feels like you're providing a really solid customer experience.
Yeah.
So we've launched microsites for both of those projects. We're leaning into things like drone photography and video to get people excited as we build. It's a construction site, obviously, so capturing a whole bunch of still shots of the exterior is not what we're doing right now. So it's been nice to use video, but in a way that just really celebrates the progress and gets people
Yeah.
excited. We have also set up really great email automation to just make sure our leads are hearing immediately from us that we're about to be in touch with what's happening. We've also had really great success with self-serve tour booking
Okay.
tools that are a little bit new for us, but have been a really great way to immediately, right? I've signed up, I get my email, I'm on the list, book your tour, and we've
Hmm.
seen that work really efficiently and quickly, which is great. So there's a great relationship with that sales team to make sure that their availability is all set and ready. And then we've also introduced a tour survey. So
Okay.
after people visit with us, how did it go? How did we meet your expectations? What are your intentions?
Yep.
So it's been really great to see, what do people plan to do after seeing us?
It's
Is this,
amazing.
it's locked down and your application is with us, or what's the intent? So that's been a new one for us and really valuable. So we'll continue to integrate that into the projects. Um, yeah,
And
and
then
I
do you
think
find, like, because you have such a broad customer base, is there a lot of
Mhm.
opportunities to keep people within the Sifton portfolio across all your product types, like changing rental
Sure.
locations, moving renters to homeowners? It
Yeah,
seems like you guys are great at data collection side of it.
yeah, definitely. I think we certainly have always seen transfer across like the rental portfolio. So
Okay.
perhaps I am in one space and want to rent in another. But in this case, we've also seen movement from retirement villa even
Okay.
to rentals. Um, we've also seen the golf community, people come out of the golf community to move into the retirement side, which is just sort of a great progression, right? Riverbend
Yep.
Golf Community is all about connection and community. So as these folks age and enter a new stage in life and want to maintain less, or just need smaller space, it's nice that we have something for them.
And when you think about your testament to customer service, it makes sense they would come back to you if you treat them that well through their first experience. Why
Right.
not stay in the portfolio if you've got a product offering?
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
you mentioned purpose-built rentals, new homes, retirement living, golf course, commercial. How do you juggle branding and marketing and
Mhm.
maintain kind of a cohesion across Sifton as a brand while getting specific to those unique business units and
Right.
demographics?
Um, I would say that we are, always um, aware of our own brand guidelines and making sure that as much as sort of new ideas can run in one direction, we keep that top of mind. I think that um, everything really still has this underlying, it's the Sifton voice, it's the company reputation, it's the storytelling and content marketing approach um, that really just weaves through everything. So even if, Spectre, for example, calls for a, vibrant, punchy website, you'll recognize that Sifton voice.
Yep.
Or where another piece visually might tie more, right? So I think that one or more pieces of essentially who we are as a brand
Yep.
um, is just sort of ever present to make sure that regardless of what we're doing, this looks and sounds like Sifton.
And I assume, that was part of the decision making process of building your internal team, having a central source that can help kind of align that across all the units. I could see it getting pretty
Right.
crazy if every unit had their own team and went in all their
Yes.
own directions.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, yeah, that's certainly what on my team we do every day is, take in ideas from all across the company um, and ensure we're all, on the same page, that we're consistent. And there's also huge opportunity in that, right? Ideas come from, one arm of the business, and we could pilot something for one team and quickly appreciate that it'd be advantageous to use it somewhere else.
Right.
So everything we do, we look at through that lens of, is there another place. It's not necessarily everyone has to do things this way. It's
Right.
instead while these ideas flow, where else can they be applied?
That's great, because I've seen a lot of internal teams get very, legalistic on this is the only way to do it. Don't bring anything to us. We don't want to hear about it. And then
Right.
that can really stifle innovation. So it
Yes.
sounds like you don't have that
Yeah.
problem, which is great.
Yeah.
A side tangent to that, with an internal team,
Mm-hmm.
when does Sifton bring in outsider help, like an agency? What is the use case that you feel that that's the right decision to do versus, when you keep things in house?
Sure. There's probably a few different reasons. So we've got a great team, a great um, in-house skill set, but there are certainly times where a project is just the scale is beyond something that we can manage internally.
Mm.
There are times where that is it could be due to the team, or it could be capacity. It could be
Yep.
we're really focused in one place, and yes, this is really important, but we're going to need to support to bring it to life.
Yep.
But we've really tried to build a team that's strong and can move quickly and not
Yep.
rely on a lot of outside support. Um,
Yep.
but we know where our strengths lie, and if we need to serve a team in a specific way, and we know we don't have that in house, then we love the opportunity to partner with others like him and her.
Yep. I'm a bit biased. I do enjoy working with you guys. So in the asset classes as well, like commercial versus rental and home, are there fundamental differences you need to take into account when you're working on that? Do you find any challenges with divisions that are just so different from the other side in terms of skill set, knowledge? Walk me through how you handle that a little bit.
Sure. So we work really closely with the operational leaders of all teams, right? So
Okay.
we're learning every day. We have learned, but we continue to leverage their insight. So if there is something specific to how they're working with prospects or customers, they're bringing us that knowledge. But again, I think there for the most part is an underlying way that we approach everything. But I would say on the retirement living side, probably retirement living in commercial properties. So
Okay.
retirement living is it's that journey can be very long, from reaching out to, from an adult child reaching out to mom or dad making the decision all as a family that this is the right move for them.
Yeah.
So our communication journeys are longer.
Yeah.
We're heavily focused on using the smiling faces of our own residents to
Okay.
showcase that lifestyle. So that can be tricky sometimes. I mean, and not something we do elsewhere. We're not knocking on the doors of homeowners saying, "Hey, can I see what you're up to today and take your picture in there while you're playing euchre," right? So, but it's very important on the retirement living side, and I think it's
Yes.
definitely what sets us apart as well. In all instances, we're selling gorgeous property, but
Yeah.
in the retirement living side, the lifestyle that shines through a face is more important than, I mean, even the fact that these folks are living in spaces that might as well be the Ritz. That it's still that emotional response that needs to
Right.
drive the decision making.
And
So
there's
that's a bit
several
unique.
stakeholders there, the kids, the parents.
Absolutely.
The service offering is more complex, obviously, I would assume.
Yeah,
Yeah.
certainly. And then I think on the commercial property side, we're speaking again. There's many audiences. So whether we're working with a broker, and that's just a very relationship based approach with the sales team, or business owners, it's a little different. So while we use the same strategies and tactics, and for the most part, really just tailoring the messages or the timeline or how marketing can support. the sales leasing team is different, right?
Yeah.
In commercial properties, things can move really quickly. Everything is a very custom conversation and
Yeah.
pricing exercise and decision to make. So we our approach to how do we complement that is lighter, I would
Right.
say, than the rest of the teams.
Okay. Now, we do release a semi-annual Pre-Con Recon report, and this next report release is focused on the shift to secondary markets. So a lot of the large big city markets have slowed, and there's a move both in product type. So again, a refocus on low-rise product inventory, and also geographic secondary markets that we're seeing in the market, in articles and people we're talking to. Do you see that shift in your market happening? Obviously, you guys are a leader in the secondary market and a lot of the products, but are you seeing that move of people coming into your market and changing the product types they're building on your end?
I definitely think, like you mentioned, Sifton, we're fortunate to have many communities that we're building outside of London. We're absolutely not just a London-based company. Haven't been for a while, actually. But I think given that, we definitely do have, there's more opportunity to respond to the needs of different buyers, while a GTA seller maybe, finding a lot more dollar or value for their dollar in London. The same goes for like London to, I need to get just outside to Ilderton, right? And
Yeah.
we've got something for everyone. I definitely would say that we have seen more in the way of multi-family. Like if I think of my career here, right, and
Yeah.
how for many years up till not that long ago, it was just single family homes everywhere,
Yeah.
and now certainly towns and stock towns, and we different approaches to condominiums, and that is inside the city, outside of the city.
Yeah.
We've definitely made some shifts with product that perhaps the intention was in early days for it to be a for sale product, and responding
Yeah.
to the market. That's now the approach is that they will be rentals.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the team's always ready to flex and respond to what the buyer's looking for.
And do you think that's here to stay? Do you think the days of, just singles are behind us? Or is that a luxury product now moving forward forever?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's tough. I think people will always want single family homes. I think affordability.
Yeah.
I think lifestyle.
Hmm.
I think that there are millennials and Gen Zs who will value culture and career opportunities and social opportunities, and maybe gravitate to major centers, and because of that, not find themselves in a single family home,
Yeah.
which is completely okay.
Yeah.
I think that we've certainly seen in our communities that, again, I'll cite West 5, perfect example of the decision to rent by no means is a giving up of home, of creating home and
Hmm.
having pride in your community and the place that you're gonna put down roots and stay long term. So, I mean, I am not a market expert, but I think my hope is that we start to see a little bit more balance, right? So we
Yes.
start to see
Yeah.
people in those single family homes, and really just continue to build communities that offer something for everyone. I think it's very appropriate for the Sifton brand, at least, to
Yeah.
ensure that we have inclusive communities as best we can that answer the call, despite
Okay.
what you're interested in.
Now, on the rental side in the product offering, are you making any changes or innovations based on, a higher push to rental? Are you, did your rental buildings before have no or little amenities, and now are you going heavy on amenities in the rental space? What's your
Yeah.
offering? there and what's evolving there?
Um, yeah, so we definitely, the more recent buildings have a lot more to offer in that regard. So um, at OS5 again, this is I keep using these examples, but these are where we've built the most recent
Yeah.
mid and mid rise buildings. So yeah. Um, Lounges, obviously, fitness spaces, media rooms,
Yeah.
not in every building, but carefully sort of chosen based on who we're targeting. Whereas in older buildings in our portfolio, there may just be a really great community room gathering space
Yeah.
and outside amenities. But we're certainly seeing that kicked up a notch, right? And
And with
some
people
cool new
like
things like even
maybe
a pet wash, and
pet
Candela's
wash,
our new
okay.
building will have an indoor pet wash. So I'm excited to see these small little things really speak to people, right? So
And what about family amenities? Like obviously, young families that maybe can't afford a single detached, they're going to rent. Traditionally, rentals, have leaned one bed, two bed. Are you making any product changes or inventory changes on larger bedroom counts for families, more intergenerational living? Are there any changes in product offering to tackle those two amenities as well to support that?
yeah, I think that in most all cases we do, and honestly for quite some time have had opportunities for 3 and 4 bedroom townhomes or apartment spaces, maybe not four in the apartment world, but
Yeah.
definitely larger spaces. We over the years, over the last few years, there's been the introduction of a lot of different spaces. So whether that is, the stacked town approach or a more traditional town approach, or that, the back to back, there's been a lot of trial of what would work for those looking for a much larger space, but
Yeah.
in a rental setting, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk technology a bit. You mentioned, you're trying some new technology, virtual tours, pre-booking, rental tours, etc. What other key technology have you used in marketing to help manage all these business units and to be successful with all of the customers and leads you need to juggle? What's
Mhm.
helping you do your job on a day-to-day?
Um, so I think, yeah, I mean, the goal is always to work smarter, faster, get the lead quicker, move it. The integrations of the things that we use, so our CRM to our email marketing tool, um, we, um, like I mentioned earlier, we've spent a lot of time on automation in the last
Yeah.
year, to really just alleviate the need to sit down as a group and say, oh, okay, what are we saying this month? Let's build this month's message. Instead, that work is done up front to build that communications journey and set it into motion. And we've seen great success in that, right? So, open rates that may have been 30 and 40% for our email campaigns in the past, or, 60 to 70 when we're just personalizing the
It's
timing
amazing.
that something is launched.
Yeah.
It's on your time, not our time anymore. And that's been really helpful. Um, the marketing team is certainly leaning into AI to
Okay.
make us more efficient, to use it as a tool that, again, doesn't take away from what anyone is doing, but really just complements and helps us move faster.
Yeah.
Um, the Yeah, and I think, um, again, the visualization piece is big for us. I mean, we're pre-leasing spaces, we have a commercial portfolio of spaces that, it can be a lot to go visit many, right? So we're really
Yeah.
trying to just build that build that in our portfolio, really strong visuals that, I can do that here from my desk and do that from the couch. I can
Yeah.
we can give people what they want when they want it, and that strong sort of first handshake to make them reach out and come see it for themselves. So
Amazing.
yeah.
Okay, Angela, I've got one last question for you. As you continue to grow Sifton as an organization, what do you think are the biggest opportunities over the next 3 to 5 years that you see?
Um, I would say, I mean, we're like we've talked about, customer experience is very important to us. I would love to see the prospect customer experience by leveraging a lot of these new technologies sort of enter a new era of,
Mm-hmm.
I might be, um, a young couple renting a suite with one dog interested in my first new home. And how can we, as a, as the team as a whole, like sharing all of the information across um, all of our business units, how can we really shape just stellar journeys for people to move
Yeah.
them. One, to educate them about what we do and the opportunities that exist everywhere, but really, I think to harness that power of customer data and deliver, those emails, those texts, those moments, really those moments
Yes.
that just wow.
Even when you talked about welcoming milestones,
Yeah.
that's not, you don't hear that from many developers, that extra effort, not just
Mhm.
to get the lead and through their purchase, but post purchase and their life cycle after, because it is all of it. Every interaction, like you're talking about, is part of that customer journey and part of what
Mhm.
makes Sift. And whether the market's hot or the market's slow, you need to
Yes.
put that same effort in because you are selling a high ticket item. Normally, one of the most expensive things somebody's going to buy in their life,
Mhm.
and it's a big decision for them. So I love that. Well, Angela, it's been amazing talking with you. For people who want to learn more and get in touch with you, where can we send them?
Oh, sure. I mean, we can send them to sifton.com just
Okay.
to reach out. A general inquiry will find me.
Okay.
Um, yeah. Thank you. It's been
Amazing.
a pleasure.
Yes. Thanks for joining me on the Pre-Con Recon podcast brought to you by Him and Her.